Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are aware that it is Monday, it's hot outside, and we're late. But guess what? We're still here. So do us a favor. Kick back, relax, because episode number 56 of 609 Sports Talk, it starts right now. And welcome in, everybody, back to another edition of 609 Sports Talk, live here on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, you can catch us over on Spotify as well. Every Wednesday, the episodes drop over there for anybody who cannot be with us on Monday nights. And of course, you guys know this is the show that unites fans and ignites debate. And as always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, the wise one of them all, and Mr. Tyler Adams.
How's it going?
Tyler, how are we doing today?
We're doing good here. Celebrating yet another Victory Monday. Still got another month and a week of that. And then I'm sure they're going to start off the season undefeated as well. So we'll just keep it going into the next season.
Agreed. Comment already. For Dustin, that wellness check joke, I would take that as a joke. We'll save that for an off-camera moment. Tyler, you know the joke. But, so look, tonight, this is the night we are going to get you guys started on our NFL coverage. We are going to start our top 10 list for the NFL season. We are going to reveal our top 10 defenses heading into 2025. Tyler and I went through the whole week putting them together. That, however, will still be on the second part of the show. We have a special edition to 609 Sports Talk tonight. So for anybody that remembers, about 2 years ago, 609 Sports Talk used to run 3 shows a week. We had 2 sports shows, and we had a wrestling show. So because of what has transpired last Thursday, we are bringing back a little bit of 609 wrestling this week, because as an all sports platform, we cover everything for the people. We cover anything from football, basketball, baseball. Sometimes Tyler has some soccer stuff that he wants to talk about, but also we are still wrestling fans as well. And without further ado, to have a 609 wrestling segment back this week, Tyler, this just don't feel right, does it?
No, it doesn't. It feels like we're missing somebody.
Yeah, you can't have Evolution without a 4. You can't have the NWO without a 3. So please, everybody, for the first time in over 2 years, welcome back the man who brought together 609 Wrestling, our old friend and former 609 Wrestling host, the great one, known as
What up, guys?
Orlando Negron. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys?
It's been a while.
Okay, it's been a long while since the three of us have been on the air together. It's been a minute.
It's been a while.
It's been a long while, actually. So anyway, gentlemen, we are all here for a very sad reason. Last week, one of the most tragic things in wrestling has transpired. One of the greatest of all time, whether you're and first off, before we even start this segment, okay, I want to say one thing. 609 Sports Talk is a sports talking podcast. I do not get into politics. I don't get into personal opinions about stuff that's outside of the sports or sports entertainment world. If you have those comments that you think you want to make, keep them to yourself. If not, I delete them. from my chat. We do not do political stuff here. We do not do any of that kind of stuff. We are sports and sports entertainment talk only. So if you have those comments, please keep them to yourself. But anyway, gentlemen, the wrestling world is mourning the loss of an icon. Hulk Hogan passed away last Thursday in his home in Florida. Now, anyone if you don't know who Hulk Hogan is, you have been living under a freaking rock for about 45 years.
They might have been frozen in ice for all we know.
Yeah, you could have been frozen in ice. We're talking some Ice Age talk now. Awesome. But you know what? We're going to have a nice little talk here about Hulk Hogan. We're going to remember what was not only one of the greatest sports entertainers of all time, not just one of the greatest wrestlers, but one of the most polarizing figures in the wrestling industry.
In my opinion, he was the one that started sport entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, just jump in. Who wants to start talking? Jump right in.
My bad.
No, go right ahead.
But
kick it off.
There ain't no WWE without Hulk Hogan. Be honest. I mean, yeah, Andre the Giant, yes. But Hulk Hogan, he put a stamp for even till now, I guess you can say, because he's still talked about.
Yeah.
But with Hulk Hogan, I don't feel like, in my opinion, WWE won't be around without Hulk Hogan.
So I have an interesting question for the both of you. Would you say that it's fair to say that Hulk Hogan had the impact on wrestling as far as making it, broadening the audience to a more worldwide level, kind of like how Michael Jordan broadened the NBA to a more global level?
I cannot say
Would you
yes.
kind of say that he kind of pioneered the sport in that way?
I can say yes. Because like I said in the beginning, there ain't no WWE without Hulk Hogan. Yes, there was Stone Cold. Yes, there was Andre the Giant. Yes, there was The Rock. Yes, there were all that. But deep down, if there wasn't no Hulkamania crowd going crazy for him, where would WWE be?
Yeah.
Would they still be the way they used to run it with territories? So, like, in my opinion, yes. In my opinion, Hulk Hogan is that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like he was probably one of the greatest wrestling entertainers to ever really do it. I mean, people they try for so long too. Yeah, like he was getting up there in age, and he was still going out there and performing, and he just carried that name with him. Everyone knew him. Everyone respected him, and he was a big draw. People would come out to see him. Always.
Yeah, like even in NWO days when he was a heel, people still see them, no matter what. Even like there was a reason why in WCW they were beating WWE for a while in ratings. Not just Goldberg. Hulk Hogan was a big factor in that as well. Yeah, did it get stale after a while? Yeah, because they kept doing the same thing over and over again. But he still brought. Huh?
I said AEW.
Who's that?
Sorry.
What does that stand for?
But like, yeah, Hulk Hogan to me, to answer your question, yes. To them, he could be that Jordan.
Okay, so before I answer this, I just want to go to the fact that the comment section has already exploded.
Oh yeah.
And Zolt's in here saying that he just wants to remind us that the Lions and Chargers play Thursday, so we are officially back in football.
Yep. I will be watching it. Don't lie. You're gonna tune in, Sam. Don't lie. It's gonna land on your TV at some point through the night.
It possibly could.
Phillies will probably be down by like 5. You'll be angry. You'll start channel surfing, and you'll be like, "Oh, football."
Buddy, they're playing the White Sox. If they lose a game to the White Sox, I'd fire Rob Thompson tomorrow. But anyway, our favorite Eagles lady, Carol, is in here. What's up, Carol? Carol, we are talking some Eagles later on, so please stay tuned with us. And then, of course, Orlando's gotten some welcome back messages from, first off, his lovely wife. And Carol also wants to welcome you back. Carol was not with us when you were here, Orlando, but she's now one of our greatest fans. Mike's in here talking about The Rock versus the Hulk. What's up, Mikey? Dustin in here saying not just the wrestling world, but the entire sports entertainment world is mourning the Hulkster. He is on the Mount Rushmore for WWE with Ric Flair, Haker, and Shawn Michaels. Dustin, what a Mount Rushmore!
Yeah,
not bad.
What a Mount! I can't even argue it.
No,
it's hard to argue. I mean,
when it comes to wrestling, that's your personal opinion because there's so many wrestlers out there that can.
There are. Because it also comes down to what you like personally in wrestling.
Exactly.
You might like what some people do more than others. So there really is no one true Mount Rushmore. But I mean, hey, that's a hell of a Mount Rushmore there.
Yep.
There's no. You can go so many ways where you're Mount Rushmores that you just can't.
You can't
go wrong. No, like
you
could. Modern day people could say, "Oh, The Rock, Stone Cold, John Cena, and Roman Reigns," and I would not argue it because it's like it's what you grew up with, it's what you like. That's what people forget about wrestling. It's what you prefer. It's not about this. Isn't baseball where the same thing happens. And Aaron Judge and Kyle Schwarber both hit 60 home runs, and they're like, "Oh well, who's the Mount Rushmore of home run hitter?" Well, they both hit the ball 500 feet every time it makes contact with their bat. This is different.
Yep.
So, first of all, we have Tyler Stokes saying hello. What's up, Tyler?
What's up, Tyler?
We got a bunch of new people in the 609 Sports Talk group, by the way. So, and we're going to have a ton of stuff going on. Kaylee wants to know our best Hulk Hogan match. Oh, crap. Okay, I'll go first because I still haven't really fully given my answer to this. But after I give my match, I'll let you two go, and then I'll come back to what I was going to say. I'm going to be that degenerate. I'm going to go 2002, WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan returns to WWE, faces The Rock.
Okay.
You have never had those two. That is literally the passing of the torch. It's two guys. I'm sorry.
Well, since I knew that everyone was going to go with that, right, I had to pick another great moment when he beat Iron Sheik at Madison Square Garden.
Ooh, that was a good one too.
Of course, I know like the match maybe, but the Andre the Giant
too, though.
The Andre the Giant match was good.
Hogan with Flair too. They had a couple good matches.
And now that they're back reunited, we cannot forget about the matches with the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And that's the thing, like, back then, like, this one's talking about, like, back then, your main events were, like, main events. Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage. There's another one you could think of. Like, you could think of so many things that Hulk Hogan did. Because remember, Hogan was part of 3 of the biggest wrestling companies over the past 40 years. WWE, WCW, and TNA. I mean, and like Tyler was saying, look at the polarizing figure. He was not going to wrestle in TNA. Yes, he wrestled like twice. But he wasn't going to TNA to wrestle. But just to have him gave TNA the confidence to say, we are going Monday nights and we're going head-to-head with Vince McMahon. They thought that's how polarizing of a figure he was. Now, TNA's problem was they thought Vince Russo was still a good writer for the wrestling company, and that's where that all went to hell. Then they hired Eric Bischoff. Then they hired every other ex-WWE superstar that showed up under the lamp. So, as much as I can't stand that era TNA because, see, I grew up in TNA. I grew up with AJ Styles, who, by the way, is the greatest TNA wrestler of all time, and I don't think I'm going to get much argument back for that.
There's one I can say that I can fight for, Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, but AJ's got the Grand Slam champion thing to him.
Yeah, that's true.
And not to mention, I hate to say it, but most of Christopher Daniels' best moments involve AJ Styles.
You ain't lying about that.
Well, like, but that's the point, though. I grew up with AJ Styles facing Christopher Daniels and Samoa Joe. I watched AJ Styles go against Petey Williams and Chris Sabin at Ultimate X. I watched Jeff Jarrett versus Christian Cage at Against All Odds 2006. I was okay with TNA up until about 2008. Then it got too much with the wrestlers they brought in. But that's not the point. The point is when they brought in Hogan, you still thought he was that polarizing figure, and he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, they tried to have their own version of the Monday Night War. Now, did they have the success that WCW did? Heck, no, they did not.
Mm-hmm.
And like Orlando, you brought up, they are the only company that consistently went toe to toe. Because I'm sorry, unlike another promotion today, WCW had the balls to go toe to toe with Raw. They're not going toe to toe on a Wednesday night with WWE's minor league show.
Right.
The only way someone is ever going to beat the WWE is if you have the balls to go toe-to-toe with them on a Monday night. No one cares about Friday night. WWE's had the balls to go put their premier live events on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Somebody want to rebuttal that?
It's a rival of UFC, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but to go back to Hogan, first of all, everything that you guys have said is accurate. Hulk Hogan is not just a part of sports entertainment. He is sports entertainment. If you look at the four major pillars, well, the three major pillars after that kids looked up to. You look at Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay, he's not like the superhero kind of guy, but he's not a bad guy, right? You know, he comes out. He was more of the attitude era for the older fans. He smacks he's drinking beer, he's flipping off people.
He's the relatable guy.
He's a relatable guy. You know, The Rock, he's polarizing too. I mean, now he's a Hollywood star and I can't stand him. But, you know, when he was in WWE full time, everyone loved him. Then you have John Cena, who all the kids love outside of whatever the heck they've been trying to do with him this year, which I know it's a thank you to him. For Cena, it's fun. For everything else, I can't stand it. But we'll talk. I'm sure we're going to be on here talking wrestling more. We'll get into that later. But for Cena's whole career, he's been that guy. You know, hustle, loyalty, respect. The kids love me. Wears all the cool colors. He does all the movies. He does all the commercials. Oh,
Sam, you reading off a piece of paper there?
No, I've just watched too much wrestling in my life. But where did he start that? That's where Hulkamania was. Hulkamania started that in the 80s. If Hulkamania never happened, WWE is still a territorial wrestling company, and they're probably still very successful. Vince Sr. was very successful before he gave it up to his son. They were still very successful. And, I know you brought up, Andre the Giant and them, but they didn't move needles like Hulk Hogan did. Because here's the thing, right? To become global, you got to dominate nationally first.
Mm-hmm.
So what WWE has done over the past decade made them global. But without Hulk Hogan, they don't even get to being national.
Yep.
He was the guy, you know, and look, he was the superhero for kids, you know. He had, of course, you know, the 24-inch pythons. He had the freaking voice for it. He had the cool colors, the red and yellow. He came out, ripped his shirt off in every event that he did. He did movies. He did commercials, back when commercials and movies were actually good. But he did all the late-night television stuff. He was on late shows and the night talk TV shows. He appeared in stuff. He drew guys. I mean, God, he got Dennis Rodman to skip an NBA Finals practice to go to WCW.
Yep.
Now, granted, Dennis Rodman probably did that for other reasons. He's probably on one of his benders, but it's okay. It's okay. But Hulk Hogan was he was the definition of sports entertainment. He was the definition of WWE. And in my opinion, remember something. People like to call about WrestleMania main events, right? We love talking about that now. Who main evented the first 9 WrestleManias?
Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Hulk Hogan. So when you talk about the Mount Rushmore of the WWE, if Hulk Hogan isn't the first face up there, I don't know what you want. I don't know who else you want to put up there.
He in my opinion, the best way to describe it, he blazed the trail for the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. He found his way to the top, and everyone else was able to follow along with it.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be considered one of the most iconic sports entertainment figures.
Oh yeah,
of all time,
for sure. Like, he's done it all. Like you said, movies, wrestling, talk shows. He helped WWE where they at right now, big time. He had the physique that McMahon wanted. I wouldn't say he's a great wrestler, but he was an entertaining wrestler.
Exactly.
Oh, if we had Hogan from the 90s and today, Twitter would rip him apart every night.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Get this guy out of here. He can't wrestle."
That's fine.
He would be when John Cena back in then, "You can't wrestle."
Yeah.
Oh my God. Just want to get caught up on a few comments here. Mike said he still owns a toy of Hulk Hogan. Mike, hang on to that.
Yeah, like growing value.
Get any bids? Oh my God!
Don't take any bids for it yet, Mike.
Oh, Anthony, look, I love Kurt Angle too, but we're not. Kurt Angle's not even in the same conversation as Hulk Hogan.
Kurt Angle can go down as the greatest Olympic wrestler of all time.
Unpopular opinion. I actually believe Kurt Angle was a better TNA wrestler than he was in WWE.
I can't disagree.
He had better matches. Because he got pushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 2007 Kurt Angle, when he was clearly on painkillers, because you could tell how skinny and in shape he was. I'm not even trying to be funny. You could tell he was on stuff. Even though that was a terrible time in his life, that was really his best wrestling. The guy was going up against, Kurt Angle walked into TNA and immediately started wrestling Christian Cage, Sting, and Samoa Joe. That was he was going up against the top guys in the company.
Mm-hmm.
But now, we're talking about Hulkamania, and, we're talking about his WWE run, and, like we said, he was a polarizing figure in that company. Let's slide over to the mid-90s now, where he put on the greatest heel turn, in my opinion, in wrestling history, and I still don't think anybody's matched it. When he was the third man of the New World Order. So if you guys want to start off talking about that.
See, to you, that's the greatest. I still think Roman Reigns' heel turn is one of the best. Is in the same subject. Nobody expect to see both of them turn heel. Come on now.
I guess it's kind of hard because, the thing is, when Hogan did it, there wasn't social media. It didn't spoil. There was no spoilers. You actually had to watch the damn show.
Yeah.
Right. I get it. That's surprising. But no one also didn't expect him to turn heel either, Roman Reigns. It was COVID.
That is true. That's the problem.
I think the difference is that Hulk Hogan before that was always so beloved.
Yeah.
By the fans. Like
True.
we all know Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
All the trials and tribulations of he's being pushed down our throats. We don't want to see him. This, that, and the other. He's had a lot of backlash from fans. He's had his supporters and he's had his haters. But I think Hulk Hogan was just so overall loved by the fans that, and especially the younger audience, that when he did turn heel, like
it was a shock.
It was a major shock.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? And I'm not trying to insult him. I love Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
For anybody for somebody at the bottom of the screen that wants to make it sound like I hate Roman Reigns, I don't hate Roman Reigns. I got sick of Vince McMahon relying on Roman Reigns because the title.
You're telling me they didn't rely on Hulk Hogan?
The title changed. Listen, Hulk Hogan put over the Ultimate freaking Warrior. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Hogan did kind of, in my opinion, sacrifice a little more because he didn't need the title. And I always said it about Roman too.
Don't forget,
Roman didn't need the title.
Hulk Hogan held the title for almost 2,000 days too.
Yeah.
Yes, but also I can also,
and he done it twice.
Yes, but now I'll make the argument here that Hulk Hogan, his heel turn is greater because he took a risk. Roman Reigns here's the difference with this. Roman Reigns had no choice but to turn heel because nobody gave a damn about him as a face. The heel turn saved his career. Hulk Hogan Hulk Hogan became a freaking heel and was still getting cheered in the damn arena.
True.
Hogan did both very well. I don't want to say, but now Roman is starting to become like that, but Roman isn't the Hulk Hogan, John Cena type face. He's the Stone Cold like guy. Not like Stone Cold, but he's going to come out, kick the living crap out of you, and he's going to leave. Yeah. That's what he is now. But it took us a while to get there. Hulkamania started with Hulk Hogan, and Hulkamania is still what he was remembered for, but we still remember WCW and the NWO, which, by the way, I still think they added I was watching some old WCW stuff on Facebook today. Man, they added way too many freaking members to that group at one point.
That's what I said. At one point, it got stale.
Well, yeah, because only 40% of the WCW roster is part of it.
Yeah, and then remember they had the red NWO.
Oh, the Wolf Pack? Oh my God! No, don't remind me of the Wolf Pack. Just to catch up on some comments in here real quick. Fratty, what's up, brother?
What's going on?
Always, Fratty. Go Phils, baby. And Dustin asked, serious question for the guest. Hogan is known for Hulkamania. Taker is known for the streak at Mania. Who has meant more to WrestleMania, in your opinion, Hogan or Taker? Well, he's asking the guest. He ain't asking me and Tyler. He don't care about me and Tyler right now.
All right. Obviously, Hulk Hogan, 9 straight. Awesome. But that streak was always something to look forward to, in my opinion, when it came to WrestleMania as a kid. Every time is, who's going to beat Undertaker? Did I like the person who beat him? No. But it was the aura when you see the streak on the line. It meant something when it came to WrestleMania. Love Hogan, but I'm choosing Undertaker.
Now, I know we weren't asked the question, but I want to answer anyways. I have to agree, in my opinion, with Taker being known as the WrestleMania guy. Like you said, the streak. I was so upset when they broke the streak. Now, I'm glad once I found out that it was Taker's decision. He wanted to put over Brock. He wanted to help sell Brock as that, unbeatable badass that beats everybody up. but it's got to be Undertaker. I mean, you don't think about WrestleMania without Undertaker.
Undertaker and Shawn Michaels too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, once again, we're back in this conversation of, does the Undertaker streak at WrestleMania become this without Hulk Hogan turning WrestleMania into what it was? That's the question that you have to ask yourself.
No, that's not what we're asking, Sam. Damn you, Sam. That's not what we're asking.
You do those. Oh, here we say. Now we're gonna listen. I've had.
Listen. I get your side of the story, Sam. We get it, but we also wasn't alive when Hulk Hogan started WrestleMania.
So we were alive to see him wrestle.
Yes.
But at the same time, yeah, what he did to bring up that pay-per-view, yes, great, awesome. But like what me and Tyler said, we always looked forward for the streak. You can't lie.
Oh, no, I can't lie, because I remember I had my we watched that match together. I was sitting on my bed just chilling, and when I heard that referee's hand hit 3, all I remember was going, wait, was that an accident?
Nope. It was real.
Okay, I'm starting to get
my best. Hey, what's up, George?
What's up, Georgie? Like I said, I think we've lost our show, Tyler. I think we've been replaced. There's been a change in creative.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, no. Look, every year, no matter how bad you have thought WrestleMania has been over the past decade, you always said, "All right, where's Taker's match? Where's the streak this year?"
Mm-hmm. Always.
So no, I agree. Now, Mike, on the other hand, is disagreeing with you. He's saying it's more Hogan. So, again, Mike saw a lot more of the prime days of Hogan than we did. So,
yeah, that's the one thing about wrestling. It all comes down to your personal opinion. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. There's always debates, but there's never a right or wrong.
Yep. We ignite debates and try not to ignite fans. Right, Sam?
No, you guys like to ignite my emotions. That's what.
We like to ignite.
Don't worry, I got something that's going to ignite you guys later.
Oh, God.
What was that, about 15 to 20 minutes tonight?
Right.
I hope you got enough charge.
I got 26. So I'm good.
All right, we're good.
All right, so real quickly, Dustin also said, I mentioned this before when I was a guest. Taker's streak was never supposed to end. He admitted in an interview and stated the only reason it ended was because of his... Yeah, he got a mid-match injury. He literally was...
He had a concussion.
Yeah, he literally got concussed.
He said it too. I'm pretty sure that he didn't want Brock to win because he actually wanted Roman to win.
Oh.
That's why Roman won. That's why Roman's the second winner, if you peep.
Yeah.
Because to him, he wanted Roman to retire him, actually, I think. But it never happened.
Yeah. No.
So we got 4 more WrestleManias after him, or 5.
Who knows? And the thing was with the Undertaker always Undertaker always put the business ahead of himself. He did not care about his personal accomplishments. Taker always he put the locker room ahead of himself. I still love the story about Austin going over at WrestleMania 96 and how Shawn Michaels kept saying in the back, he's going to ruin this for them. He said, I'm not putting him over. And they said, Taker sat down in Gorilla with Vince and waited for that match to end, because he said, if Shawn messes this up, I'm clocking him. The minute he walks through that curtain, I'm clocking him. Because Undertaker was always about the business.
Nope.
I mean, you hear the interview with Chris Jericho. Remember, Jericho called him up after all those years away. Jericho calls Undertaker and says, they want me to work Fandango at Mania. And what's Taker's response? Do it!
Yep.
Like, what's the problem? Just freaking do it.
Yep.
Brian has a question. Did Bray beat Taker at Mania?
No.
No, I'm pretty sure Taker beat Bray at Mania.
Yeah. Taker has. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 95% sure Taker won that match.
Yeah, I think. Which, by the way, like the Bray and Taker match got mostly ruined in my opinion because WrestleMania was outside.
Yeah.
You can't darken an outdoor arena to the extent of how you want.
Yeah.
So Dustin also said Roman was who. Yeah, see, Dustin's basically saying the same thing. He was who Taker wanted to end his streak because Taker trained Roman, and it was like passing the torch to him. The Lesnar match ended abruptly because of the concussion, which why they couldn't just have Taker hit him with a tombstone real quick and call it a day. But
probably couldn't lift him.
Yeah, he probably couldn't. He probably would have freaking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, a choke slam.
Or what's the other?
Can assist you in that a lot in selling.
Whatever it was, the last ride.
The last ride.
Oh, he was not doing the last ride. That's the one where he goes up on the turnbuckle.
If he ain't lifting Lesnar for the tombstone, he ain't lifting him up above. He ain't lifting all that above his head.
Right. He might.
Lesnar would have dropped him on his back and just pinned him that way.
Right.
But Dustin also said, I can guarantee that Taker has a job in WWE as Triple H's right-hand man if he wants it. I guarantee that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a reason why he has a I don't know if it's like a reality show about new coming wrestling, but Taker's like a coach basically, I think, for that.
Yeah, he's still coaching, still mentoring. I've seen the clips of what you're talking about.
Yeah, I believe like Taker's still in the business because he, as a coach, I believe he'll be a coach. Who wouldn't want to listen to Taker?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Who would not want to get advice from one of the greatest performers in sports entertainment history? So Dustin said, if you go and find the interview, Taker said he was so concussed that both eyes were full of blood. Were full of blood. And he couldn't see more than 3 inches in front of him. Well, that explains why he didn't try to tombstone Brock one more time.
Yeah, might have dropped him on his head for real.
It may have ended him right there. Well, it didn't. He went to the hospital. He passed. He literally collapsed like right outside Gorilla after that match. He had just enough strength to get backstage, and he had him go to the hospital. So, George, you shouldn't have done this. George said, so since I've been alive, since WrestleMania's beginning, Hogan was only in a dozen. Taker took over from Hogan and has 25 or so. It's all on the baton being passed. Hogan, Taker, Rock, Triple H, Austin, Cena. George, correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't you alive when the first wrestling ring was ever built?
Yeah.
Tune in tomorrow night to Dueling Aces for me getting completely destroyed on air by George, because this is what I do to him on a weekly basis.
That's bold of you to assume he's not going to rebuttal right now.
He probably will. Brian said, yeah, he was in his group. Bubba Ray has a group, and a couple other old wrestlers have groups. Yeah, so Taker is currently coaching up the next regime of wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen some clips from that show.
It's really good. It's on Hulu.
Yo, Bubba Ray is tough on his guys.
Yeah, and Booker T I like too. And I think it was Mickie James for this first season, now Michelle McCool's in the second season.
Oh, gee, I wonder why.
I don't know. Maybe Taker. Sorry.
No, wait, you can't really say that because Mickie James' husband's the freaking GM of SmackDown.
Yeah, true, but Taker wife or GM of SmackDown's wife? Who are you picking?
I understand that. I'm just pointing out the obvious here. Dustin said he had ruptured blood vessels in his brain that night and was in worse shape than people realized. It got to the point where Triple H was preparing a public statement for news no one wanted. Yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing how bad The Undertaker was after that match.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I hate Brock Lesnar. Look what Brock does to guys like Taker. Look what he did to Randy that year. I think it wasn't that the year. Yeah, look what he did to. This is why I've always hated Brock Lesnar. Brock has got this. Now, towards the end, he was fine, but he had this weird stretch where he was just violent. He only wanted to wrestle. He could only wrestle like 5 minutes at a time. I couldn't stand. There was a part of me for a while. I couldn't stand Brock Lesnar.
I still don't like Brock Lesnar.
I'm glad he's never coming back.
He's banned.
Now,
Brock Lesnar was born to be a UFC fighter, not a WWE wrestler.
Whoa. He's banned?
He's banned from TKO, UFC, and
Wait. Wasn't that because in his last UFC match that he didn't he fail the drug test for performance enhancing?
I don't know if it's because
I thought
of
that
that
was
particular reason. I know it was only for like 3 years for that ban.
I forget who I'm thinking of. I don't know if it was him or somebody else, but like somebody did their last UFC match and they walked away from the UFC after the match, and then they ended up getting banned because they failed. They got banned by the doping agency administration, whatever it's called.
Because didn't Brock walk away from UFC? Because didn't he have some type of condition where he literally could not fight anymore?
The same thing that Kenny Omega has.
Oh yeah, so Brock literally can't fight. That's why he came back to WWE in 2011 or 2012, whichever Rock and Cena match that was.
He was going to do the easiest and what was going to pay him the most money.
And where he could show up and do the leap.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me ask you guys this question since we're on, Hulk Hogan. Did you guys ever get to see Hogan wrestle?
Actually, yes, because I used to have, I had the WrestleMania box of back in the day as a kid, and I saw some of the matches from that.
Okay.
But
Tyler?
I physically watched him live, not on tape. No.
Well, what was the question again? I was looking up something. I was looking about.
Have you ever gotten to see Hulk Hogan wrestle?
I've seen clips.
But physically, you've never seen him wrestle?
No, not physically.
Didn't you see him wrestle in TNA?
Yes, I did. That's why I was asking, because I am actually the only one out of the three of us that had the privilege. I got to see Hulk Hogan
versus Sting
in TNA wrestle Sting.
I was right. I remember.
Yeah, that was the night that the Immortal died. The TNA version of the NWO.
Yeah.
So I got to see
and
Hulk
then he
Hogan
got a big
feud
with Bubba Ray.
Bully Ray. Don't you ever call him Bubba Ray. He's Bully Ray.
He's still Bubba Ray in WWE. I'm sorry, bud.
Bigger star in TNA, but okay. But yeah, so I honestly got to see like one of Hogan's final wrestling matches against another icon in Sting, who before he was one of the icons in terms of like outside WWE. WCW, you thought of Sting. TNA, you thought of Sting. Heck, Sting even had a decent run in AEW.
Sure.
Dustin said that he got to watch Hogan wrestle Scott Steiner on Thursday Night Thunder in WCW. Lucky.
Wow.
Lucky. All right, so Orlando, you claim that you have something you have to tell us. I don't know how this is going to go.
So can I give my dues about Dominic Mysterio yet?
Oh my God.
Nah. He's alright.
You sure, Mr. Hook's better than Dominic Mysterio?
At the time, this was many moons ago. At the time, I thought Hook was a better wrestler as far as technical wrestling goes.
I didn't even see that. I'm sorry.
But
all he did was his daddy movesets for like 3, 4, 5 minutes, and that's it. Dom, he's good at the mic. He's good. It took him a couple years, don't get me wrong, but he's a lot better now. And now I don't know if you saw his big pop that he got in AAA, but I haven't
gotten to see that yet.
I send it to you both, I believe. But I'm starting to see a lot of good things with Dominic. I see him as in this generation. Obviously, they got Braun as the next big thing, and like after thing. But to me personally, I believe Dom will be the next Seth Rollins to Braun.
Ooh.
What did you just say?
Yup. I told you I was gonna bring some heat.
Oh God! Okay.
Wait, I'm. What did he say? I missed it. I was too busy looking at the comment.
He just put Dominic Mysterio in the same sentence as Seth Rollins.
Hey, they both do frog splashes.
All right. That's. Oh, thanks for coming on the show, Orlando.
You're welcome. Had to bring some heat.
Was that a pun intended or no pun intended?
No, he warned me about this before the show.
Oh my gosh. Dominic Mysterio has made very good improvements in a short time. I'll give him that.
He's gotten better every year, in my opinion.
Like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Why you can't give him love? Why you can't give him love?
Except he hasn't won the big title yet.
He won an Intercontinental.
He's won a title, which he's probably going to lose.
And he won NXT's North America title twice.
Back when the Judgment Day was at its peak.
Yeah.
What I just wanted to get to these comments real quick. What's up, Clint? Clint, yes, we have been talking Hogan, but we're going to wrap that up here in a minute here. So you can stick around for the NFL talk that we're going to bring. But right now, we're actually just kind of talking wrestling in general. We're not really on Hogan at the moment. I will say this real quick. I also just want to point out that Dustin brought up that Bryce Harper just doubled in 2 runs. I have it on. If you keep and Cassiano strikes out. What else is new? Clint says he likes Dom, so give him his props. Okay. Anthony, they're not trying to make Braun Breaker a 5-minute squash match guy. They're trying to turn him into their new version of like Batista.
No, hear me out. They're trying to make him the next Roman Reigns. If you see, he said, Paul Heyman said, the big dog. It's his yard. Who was Roman Reigns before the tribal chief? The big dog.
God, the big dog.
I just think he called him a big dog because he likes to bark.
Oof.
Is Rick? Wait, which Steiner? He's Rick Steiner's kid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he's Scott's nephew.
Yeah.
Dustin said, in his opinion, one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time is RVD. I don't disagree. I love Rob Van.
RVD is exciting in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he went to TNA, but WWE owned the rights to RVD, so they made it RVD, but the D was lowercase.
I thought it was the V was lowercase, but yeah, I do remember one of them.
Yeah, they had to. All they had to do was lowercase one of the letters. I'm like, wow.
You're right.
No, because remember that was their first Monday. That was the night Hogan debuted. Their first Monday night show.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard Taz say, well, there's Mr. Monday Night. I'm like, yeah, there's Mr. Monday Night. There's Mr. Friday Night, Mr. Thursday Night. He's been Mr. Night of every day of the week so far in his career, Taz, but okay. And he beat Sting. I remember when he beat Sting.
Mm-hmm.
He squashed him.
Oh, wow.
Another thing, before we completely wrap up wrestling, I do want to bring up something, but real quickly, George said Dom's getting to WWE. Oh, God.
Started something here.
Oh, God. We'll ignore George completely dissing my old joke to him earlier. He'll get me back tomorrow. I do want to say, I know this was a couple weeks ago, but we haven't talked wrestling on here in the longest time. I'm just happy that the prodigal son of TNA finally got to return.
Yes.
I am so happy that I got to see AJ Styles back in the TNA arena.
Yep. And ironic, it was bringing up someone that just won the the X Division title. So it's just ironic how he brought up the X Division, and he's like passing the torch to that one kid.
Yeah. Do you guys think that and this is more of an Orlando question, but Tyler, feel free. I mean, Orlando, am I getting one more match in TNA for my boy? Is AJ Styles going to give
the
me one
crowd
more?
was saying one more match, and he said we'll get to that one day. So there goes the one day. So we never know if yes is or no.
Famous
But
last words. One day.
since WWE and TNA work together, I can't see why not. It can't happen.
That gives it more hope that they have a good working relationship.
Better than the AEW relationship they had.
That lasted like a month with Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
That lasted a month. They got Christian Cage as champion, which I'm glad Christian got his last moment in TNA, because after Christian lost the NWA title at Bound for Glory, he got completely wiped off the map in TNA. He lasted another year and a half, and he just did meaningless work. But the reason why I'm so happy because people don't understand the backstory with this, there was no relationship between TNA and AJ Styles over the past 12 years. People forget what happened in TNA with AJ Styles. The fact that AJ Styles was the face, and look, we will continue this conversation every day. He was the face of that company from 2002 till he left. No matter where you watched, he was the face of that company. And the biggest problem was Dixie Carter, Vince Russo, and all these people started throwing their money around at guys like the Hardys, Eric Bischoff. They paid Hogan a lot of money. And they're just throwing all these guys. Like, they brought in Tomko, which, because he had such a great run with Christian the first time. And, they were just throwing all these meaningless contracts and money at people. So it got to the point where this is shortly after the Aces and Eights storyline, which that was honestly a pretty good storyline TNA did back in the day. Shortly after that, AJ had won the title. And AJ's contract was up. AJ lost the title briefly after because he did not agree. They wanted him to take a 60% pay cut in his next contract. The face of the company, who'd been there since day one, and they wanted him to take over 50% of a pay cut. And basically, the last time you saw AJ Styles, he took the world title, drove off in a car on live TV, and you never saw him again. And there was never communication with him in TNA again. He hit the indie scene for a while, did some New Japan stuff, and then ultimately he came into WWE, which, give AJ credit. He's turned into a pretty damn good sports entertaining wrestler, too. Yep. But it just felt so much justifying that he got to make that appearance at Slammiversary, their biggest pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I know people say it's Bound for Glory, but I think Slammiversary to them is like their SummerSlam.
Yeah. One of their biggest pay-per-views, you could say.
It's one of their top two. What I would like to see TNA do, I would like to see some more of the traditional stuff. I would love to see Ultimate X matches come back. I'd love the 6-sided ring if I didn't hear AJ Styles' opinion on it.
Right, he said he hated it.
He hates it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have enough No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
He said it himself, because obviously we're about to go with the same thing. The bumps on that ring was a lot more hurtful with certain moves he did than the square ring.
Yeah, because they had to use a different material, and there wasn't as much padding.
Yeah, there wasn't enough support in the 6-sided ring for them, and that's why they kind of went away from it after a while. But
he actually said, he actually said that when he first went to him and Kurt Angle did one move that he told Kurt Angle that he wouldn't do again in a 6-sided ring, and he asked him after they transform into a square ring if he can do this move again. He was like, "Oh, I'm dreading it," but then he let him do it, and he was like, "Oh, this is actually not that bad." So that's what made him realize, the 6-square ring, that was our thing, but I like the feeling, I guess, better in the square.
My favorite eras of TNA, like I said, I have 2004 to 2006. 6. You know, when you have Jeff Jarrett like the face of the company, he's running around with the belt. The only guys they really had signed recently was Christian Cage and Kurt Angle, which I thought was fine because you had Samoa Joe, you had AJ Styles, you had Bobby Roode, who I will always say the biggest mistake Bobby Roode ever made was leaving to go to WWE because he was the face of TNA before he left. Now, granted, now he's a producer for the company. He's having a good life, and I'm sure he's great. But, like, I mean, you had Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley. The whole X Division was the entertainment. Like, the entertaining parts of their shows were the X Division.
Yep.
My top 2 favorite eras of TNA, though, was that. And I kind of liked right around the Aces and Eights timeline, where, like, Austin Aries was TNA champion. And then Chris Sabin was TNA champion. And then, of course, Mr. Anderson was TNA champion, or Mr. Kennedy for any of our WWE fans. And Dustin just said he may be in the minority here, but one of his favorite eras of wrestling was when WCW and ECW it's when they formed the alliance to try and take down WWE. That was the one time where you legitimately saw every major wrestling superstar in the early 2000s on TV at the same time. No disagreement.
Yeah, no.
Very good point.
Before we wrap up this part of the show, I do want to bring up one other thing regarding Hulk Hogan, and then I'm done with. This is my last thing about it, and I'll let you guys have your final words on it as well. WWE Universe, great tribute on Friday Night SmackDown. We don't forget what happened the last time he showed up in an arena.
Yep.
Because I think the problem with this is the problem with the world, is people are sitting here like, oh, he's this, he's that. A man just lost his life.
Mm-hmm.
A family just lost their husband and father. You have to put that aside. Regardless of your opinions on him, you're not going to wish someone to go through that.
Right.
Grow up. Oh, God, how do you think Jimmy Hart feels? Jimmy Hart lost his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Kevin Nash, the only one left of the NWO.
Yep.
That was the time I wish I was alive with wrestling. Like, I was alive. I was like 2. I wish I could have been, like, older during the WCW run. I wish I was able to witness the Monday Night Wars.
Right, I agree. Me too.
I grew up in the wrong
watch
era.
it at Peacock.
I know how I'm spending my day off this week.
Or back in the day for $9.99.
Don't act like you don't. Don't act like you don't have that memorized. Yeah, back when we used to stay up to watch Fastlane. Remember those days?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I don't want to remember Fastlane either. Trust me, gentlemen.
Right.
Anybody else have any final words before we head on to some other things?
Nope.
Nope.
Besides, it was great talking to you guys from a little bit for wrestling.
It was a great
little
reunion. And definitely won't be
bit.
the last one. I mean, what turned in from what we thought was going to be a 20-minute segment to a whole hour. I mean, it's always great having you.
Thank you.
Of course. And I'm sure we're going to
fun.
have plenty of things in the near future to talk about. I mean, I'm sure later this year we're going to have somebody retiring that I'm sure we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure we're going to have plenty of more things to talk about in the future. So,
Yep. Just
Orlando,
let me know. I'm open.
Of course, we want to thank you for coming on with us tonight, and
thank you for having me, guys.
Basically, actually having more popularity in the chat than me and Tyler ever have. So.
There it is, Georgie. There it is. Fire him back. You thought you were going to get away with what you said, Sam?
I heard George was just going into college on Ted Turner's when Ted Turner was born. You know, the guy who owned the TV network that had WCW. So don't start this game with me, George. Don't start this game with me. We're a day early, okay? But Orlando, once again, thank you for coming on with us tonight. But it was a fun time.
All right, yeah, definitely. See you guys.
See you,
Be
Orlando.
safe.
See you later,
See you
brother.
around. Have a good show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So say
Carol says, thank you, Orlando. Dustin, some breaking news that I wish
Dude.
isn't true.
Oh God, what the? Let me go see. I'm freaking trying to see if I can find anything about this.
Oh, it's true. It happened. All the big news outlets reporting about it. An NYPD officer died, 2 critically injured. Wow. Injured 6 before taking his own life.
Unbelievable.
Man.
Thanks, Anthony. I'm not posting that comment again, but Tyler, you can look at Anthony's comment real quick.
I mean, I could post the comment for you, Sam.
I already did. Anywho, now, why don't we, speaking of the NFL, unfortunately, I don't want to jump into it after something like that, but we are going to start getting everybody ready for the NFL season. So, to start off our NFL talk for the week, guys, we are going to get you guys ready with some NFL top 10 lists. So basically what we'll be doing is, for the next few weeks, we are going to be getting our NFL top 10 list for certain positions, and we are going to be unveiling them to you guys starting this week, and we are going to be starting this week with our top 10 defenses for the 2025 season. So, to get this kicked off, Tyler, how do we want to do this? Do we want to reveal, like, you go your 10th, I'll do my 10th, or do we want to do our list like you, then me? How do we want to do that?
We can bounce back and forth, but real quickly, I think we should kick this off with some more developing news with Tyler Guyton.
Yeah.
It was just announced that it was actually, his ACL is intact. He has a bone fracture. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. So the Cowboys dodged a bullet.
Wow. That is a bullet dodge. And somebody just commented on Ian Rappaport's tweet about that and said Jason Peters is available.
Oh my gosh. He's willing to come out of retirement.
He's always willing to come out of retirement. He's been retired since 2019.
Yeah, if they're going to sign him for 1 year, $3 million, he's down. You know what? 1 year, $1 billion, he might do it.
Well, please stop it. Mike heard NFL and he said, "I'm back."
Welcome back, Mike.
So, all right. So we want to start with number 10 and work our way down.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So basically, guys, what we'll be doing like we said, we're going to be doing top 10 lists over the next several weeks we're going to be doing some top 10 quarterbacks. We're going to be doing some top 10 running backs. We're going to do top 10 wide receiver duos, top 10 offensive line. We'll be doing stuff like that over the next several weeks here for you guys. So to get us started this week, we are going to be doing some, like I said, we're going to be getting some top 10 lists in here. So Tyler, before we get going real quick, let's also not forget that Cortland Sutton got a big money contract extension today as well.
He did.
And Zolt said that it said Dodge. Oh, God. Zolt said if a team will pick up Eli Apple, anyone can get a contract. Oh, boy.
Basically.
I'm not doing it. Don't do that to George. Don't do that to our friend George. He's already got to be prepared to watch the 49ers this year. Come on. Why must we do this to Sir George? But anywho, all right, Tyler. Let's get this thing rolling. Our top 10 list here. So, where would you like to start off?
So just want to I don't remember if you said this or not. It's the top 10 defenses list.
Yes.
So we're going to be going over who we think has the strongest defenses heading into this year.
And real quickly, Mikey will definitely be getting into why. For those, we'll be doing running back in general, but for wide receivers, instead of doing top 10 wide receivers, we're going to do top 10 wide receiver duos. I think that's a more fun conversation to have.
Oh, yeah.
Because some teams have great number one wide receivers and their number two sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tyler, to kick off our top 10 defenses, would you like to start or would you like me to start?
I would love to start.
Kick us
My
away,
number
brother.
10, I have the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
I think the 49ers, they got some solid pieces. They did a little bit in the draft, but I think the biggest thing is them getting Saleh back as their defensive coordinator. I think his presence alone bumps them up to a more elite level than what they might have as a whole entire unit.
Okay. Look, last year they really struggled against the run. Their interior defensive linemen were not good against the run. Hargrave and Malik Collins both at pass rush first. They go into the draft. They go get two of the better run-stopping DTs, Alfred Collins, C.J. West. Mm-hmm. They draft Michael Williams. They draft Nick Martin. They get Upton Stout. They still have Diamador Lenore. They still have Jair Brown, the kid who grew up right here in Trenton. And, yep. If they get Malik Mustafa back relatively early in the season.
Yeah.
But Zolt said 49ers are 10. They were 9, but then they signed Eli Apple.
Zolt, that is actually crazy that you said that, because I actually just made the executive decision myself to knock them down to number 10. I did have them on my list at number 9 heading into the show. So that is very ironic that you just said that.
I actually have the Niners higher on my list.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to, like, see that thing. We're going to be all over the place. Like, so you're going to say some of mine before I do. I'm going to say some of mine before you do.
I think when we get to, like, the top 5, it's probably going to be more so the same teams.
Yeah, it just depends on where you have them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All right, so my number 10 defense, I have the LA Chargers.
The Chargers are an interesting one. I wanted to put them. I wanted to. They didn't make my list. I want to hear what you have.
Well, the reason they made my list is Jess Minter, who, of course, was the defensive coordinator in Michigan that Harbaugh bought with him. They allowed the least amount of touchdowns last year in the NFL. They only allowed 31 touchdowns, which was first. They were even better than the Eagles. They still have very solid pass rushers. Yes, I know Joey Bosa is now freezing his cojones off in Buffalo. I just want Joey Bosa to know soft tissue injuries do not get better with cold weather. Just letting you know that.
What do you mean? He's going to go condition his body in the snow after each game.
That's awesome. They still have some decent edge rushers, though. They signed Bud Dupree, who 2 years ago they signed Bud Dupree. Dupree was there last year. He was a rotational player, but he had 6 sacks. They still have Khalil Mack, who is still playing at a pretty decently high level for his age. They did draft Kyle Kennard out of who was one of my top edge rushers in the draft this past year. And they also have Tuli Tuipulotu, who's coming off an 8.5 sack season. So he's going into year 3. And they still have Denzel Perryman, who is still pretty damn solid at that middle linebacker position, man. Their secondary, they added some playmaking with Dante Jackson, who last year with Pittsburgh had 5 interceptions. So they still have Derwin James. And like I said, I think they had a really solid defense last year with Jess Minter leading the way. And I think that they can honestly just keep going from where they were last year.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to my number 9, I have the Atlanta Falcons.
Really?
Now, I probably could have worked them up higher on my list. The only thing holding me back was they really got better to me just off of this past offseason and draft. So I still want to see the final product because I've seen the Atlanta Falcons put on good defenses on paper before too, and then they disappoint. So that's the thing holding me back with them. But I mean, on paper, they got like at least 3 guys who are probably going to get 10 sacks. Probably a couple more guys who are going to get decent numbers. They got some really good young players in the draft, like James Pierce, Jalen Walker. They still have a good corner, number 1 corner in A.J. Terrell. Got Jesse Bates, one of the best safeties in the league right now. Jordan Fuller next to him. Mike Hughes is their cornerback too. I mean, it's a well-rounded roster on defense.
You're forgetting a name.
Oh, what'd I forget? Leonard Floyd.
No.
Wait, no, who they? Wait.
They drafted
Xavier Watts. I forgot about him.
So one of the best
take the starting spot.
One of the best playmaking safeties in college football gets to learn from one of the greatest playmaking safeties in the NFL.
Yeah, I could definitely see him winning out. What's his name? Jordan Fuller's spot.
Justin, the Phillies just went to Yankee Stadium and took 2 out of 3. I'm solely ready to lose 2 out of 3 to the worst team in the American League in the White Sox. I'm fully prepared for it, since they're losing 4-2.
Oh, no.
Luis Robert should not be a White Sox after tonight. He should be called over and say, hey, I don't want to. They should call him up like Billy Bean in Moneyball. Hey, I don't want Robert hitting against me tonight. Tell him to come over. All right, Tyler. We ready to move on to my number 9, or are you still pointing some things out?
No, that's it.
All right. My number 9 defense heading into 2025, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, look, personnel, it's starting to be a little bit of a concern, in my opinion. I think they are starting to thin out a little bit. But I will say they still have Steve Spagnuolo. Look at all the one-score games this Chiefs team plays. Look at all the close games they win because miss me with the officiating, okay? We could bitch about the officiating during the season. But Spagnuolo, outside of the Super Bowl, which what the Eagles did to them is even more impressive. They always play tough. They're always keeping the Chiefs in the game. They're still anchored by Chris Jones. They still have George Karlaftis.
Yep.
They're still a well-rounded defense. They still have Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquill manning up the middle. The secondary, it's starting to, outside of Trent McDuffie, it's getting maybe a little bit concerning, but they did draft Noah Williams out of Cal, who I really like as an outside corner for them. Like I said, they are starting to thin out in terms of talent, but I still think they're a very solid defense because they're coached very well. So I have the Chiefs coming in at my number 9 defense for this year.
Okay. So coming in at my number 8, I got the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams, while maybe they didn't quite get the best run stoppers, and they didn't really cater their acquisitions during the offseason to that, they're a team that is going to rack up and get pressure on the quarterback. Whether it's Fisk, whether it's Verse, they got so many.
Turner, Byron Young, take your pick.
Yeah, literally, pick your poison. They're kind of like the Falcons. Pick your poison. They're going to get after you. And I feel like they have gotten a little bit better in the secondary. I mean, Cameron Curl and Cameron Kitchens as your safeties, it's a pretty solid tandem. Cornerback leaves a little bit to be desired, but again, with the pass rush, you could probably get away with having a little less quality corners. But I think they're definitely going to put a lot more pieces together. You know, a lot of these guys going into year 2 now, I mean, they're just going to get even better.
Fair enough. I won't lie. I did leave. The Rams are right on the outside of mine because I am concerned about their secondary, and I'm very concerned with them against the run. That is a big thing for me. Like, those two areas, after what we saw last year, those are areas of concern. Pass rush is amazing. I agree with you 100%, but I still am a little concerned about those other two levels. So they are off of my list, but they're like, if I could put it at 11, they're right there. My number 8 defense coming into this year, I have, and I wish I could have them a little higher, I have the Jets.
Really?
Yeah.
I will say,
because
I did snub the Jets from mine. They were a team kind of like you just said with the Rams. They're kind of like right on the outside looking in. But what is your reasoning for having them?
Well, first of all, let's look at where they're strong at. They are strong on that line. Quentin Williams is still anchoring that damn freaking middle. That's one of the best interior defensive linemen in the league.
Yep.
Mike, I will agree with that statement 100%.
If they're not playing against Saquon Barkley.
And Matthew Stafford's already got a back problem, so.
Oh, God.
But you look at Quentin Williams, they have Tremaine Johnson, who is coming off an Achilles injury, so we'll have to see how his health is. But when healthy, him and Will McDonald, they can get after the quarterback. They drafted Tyler Barrett out of Miami. He was a very good defensive lineman in college.
Yeah.
So, they've added a little bit there. But, you go to the linebackers. They still got Quincy Williams, even though they lost freaking... Who's retired?
Mosley.
TJ Mosley. Because, of course, we know Quincy is Quentin's younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
And Quincy's been good, man. 4 consecutive years of over 100-plus tackles. Definitely not a terrible middle linebacker. Secondary, still got players, man. They signed Andre Sisco from the Jags. He was a pretty solid safety for the Jags the past couple of years. So they bring him in. They added Dean Clark as well. Now they did lose they lost somebody to the freaking Lions. Reed. They lost freaking Reed to the Lions.
Yeah.
So, losing out him as your number 2 corner sucks, but you still have Sauce Gardner, who is easily one of the best corners in football. Debate a wall if you disagree. They drafted Malachi Moore out of Alabama, who was one of my favorite defensive backs. Not very athletic, but just very sound. Does everything at a very decently high level. They took the kid Thomas out of Florida State, who I think could easily slot it as their number 2 corner right off the rip. I really do like this Jets defense, and I think I like it because they have the main component. You have a star at corner, you have very good edge rushers, and you have a guy up the middle in Quentin Williams who just wreaks havoc on opposing offensive line. Oh, not to mention, they hired Aaron Glenn as their head coach. Yeah. And I'm a very big fan of Aaron Glenn from his time in Detroit.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I do not care what happened in the freaking playoff.
I mean, well, what was he working with? All second stringers?
Exactly. All right, Tyler, who you got coming in number 7?
All right, number 7. I have the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, so you have them a little higher.
Kind of similar to you. I put a little bit more stock into Spagnuolo. I think he's another defensive coordinator who just elevates whatever he's given to work with. I mean, last year, I don't really see much of a drop off from last year's defensive roster to this year's. And I feel like last year's Chiefs team, their defense was more of their identity than their offense.
Oh, without a doubt.
It kept them around. It kept them with the best record for so long. So I couldn't just drop the Chiefs down too far. I still had to put stock into Spagnuolo and the coach that he is. And the Chiefs, they'll be in the top 10.
Real quickly, before we continue, for any of my baseball fans, I have some breaking trade deadline news that's developing. Diamondbacks star third baseman, who is leading Major League Baseball with 86 runs batted in, is leaving tonight's game after taking a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to his hand.
Oh.
So that is going to be a developing story heading into this Thursday's trade deadline, which I will be recapping next week. But anyway, coming into my number 7 defense, yes, I still have them there. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would have had the Steelers a lot higher if they did not make the Jalen Ramsey trade. I still think they have a good... No, listen. I still think they have a good defense. Dustin saying that they're most likely taking out Suarez for precaution. Yeah, most likely, because they don't want to miss out on the prospect pool we'll get for them. I like the Steelers' defense even after the trade. I still think Minka was more valuable to them than Jalen Ramsey is. But if you look at their defense, look at the defensive line. They still have Cam Hayward. God, I feel like Cam Hayward's been a Steeler for 20 years. You look at their linebacker.
16.
Close enough. You look at their linebacking core. Patrick Queen had a really good first year last year in Pittsburgh. Had 130 tackles. They have Peyton Wilson. Peyton Wilson had a really strong rookie year. I'm sure he's going to get playing time more. Cole Holcomb is their third linebacker. I still like their edges, man. They still got Alex Highsmith, who I am still very high on. I know since having 14 and a half sacks 3 years ago, he's only had 13 since. He also was banged up last year. I still like him. They have Nick Herbig, who I really like. And of course, they finally paid T.J. Watt. They drafted Jack Sawyer, one of my favorite college football players. Sorry, Zolt. Mr. Suarez will be making a trip to Chicago to be joining the Phillies. Sorry about that. And in their secondary, I mean, they're looking at a safe. I mean, they signed Chuck Clark, who last year he played 12 games with the Jets, had 70 tackles. Okay. They have Deshaun Elliott, who last year had 108 tackles, 1 interception for them. So, I mean, I'm not sure where the state... And they also signed Juan Thornhill, who last year I believe was in Cleveland. And he had 50 tackles. And, yeah, so, I mean, maybe their safeties will pan out. I don't know.
But who knows? Maybe with the fact that they're overloaded on corners now, they might not need the best safety player.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you got to pick your poison. Who do you want to throw at? Darius Slay or Jalen Ramsey? Regardless of their age, they're still both very good corners. I mean...
Or you throw at Joey Porter, and he has one of the best years of his career.
Yeah, exactly. As long as he ain't holding everybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got the Steelers coming in at 97.
So it's funny that you just brought them up at number 7 because I have them at my number 6.
Fair.
Don't have much more to say that you didn't touch on except for, I mean, the pass rush. That would scare I think, almost any offensive line in the league. Having to worry about rookie Derek Harmon, veteran Cameron Hayward, T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith. Like, what are you gonna do? Who are you double teaming? You can't double team anybody.
I'd like to personally apologize that I forgot that they drafted Derek Harmon.
Yeah. So adding that factor in, and the fact that they have 2 number 1 corners and a number 2 corner. Yes, safeties, they downgraded with Minka, but Ramsey will still add an aspect to that defense, however they fit him in there. He'll still add another aspect to it. I think they're pretty sound through all levels of the field, especially with Pat Queen commanding the middle. I think it's a safe number 6 pick for me. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. My number 6 is actually your number 10. I have the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
Here's my reasoning. Number 1, I love their young safeties. I love Jair Brown, who, once again, Trenton-born, grew up right here and went to Trenton High. And if Malik Mustafa is healthy, I love those two. Diamador Lenore, still one of the more underrated corners in the game. Now, who plays opposite of him, we have to see. The 2 reasons I like about the Niners defense this year, they got younger, and they brought back Robert Saleh, who, by the way, was was one of the key contributors to why they had such a great defense over the past year.
Oh, yeah.
So I think bringing him back alone moved them up. But then I thought they had a great draft because they have been struggling to find someone to play opposite of Nick Bosa. I think Mykel Williams is going to slot right in there and just be a day one contributor. Next thing you know, you saw last year in Philly what a young defensive line can do, and look what they've done now. They have Mykel Williams. They drafted Alfred Collins, who was one of my favorite defensive tackles in this draft. Great against the run. DJ West, another one, who he anchored Indiana's defense last year, strong against the run. That is where the Niners struggled last year, and I'm happy to see that they went out and got younger. They drafted Nick Martin, a linebacker who I really like. They drafted Upton Stout, who is a corner who I really like. I think they have the pieces still with Mustafa and Lenore and Bosa and all these young guys. Oh, not to mention, they still have this guy named Fred Warner.
Yep.
And, of course, over on YouTube, we have our friends over at the 302 Birds podcast saying that they think the Niners will be better.
All right. They could. They could just end up being a top 5. I mean,
yeah.
Wouldn't put it past them. Mohamed Salah, the guys that he has to work with here, wouldn't be surprising at all.
Before we move on, just because they wanted to throw that comment in there, I just want to say, all of our Philly sports fans, now look, we cover the Eagles a lot. We are Eagles fans. We talk about the Sixers because, unfortunately, I'm a Sixers fan, and we talk basketball. And I'll occasionally bitch and complain about the Phillies from time to time. But for all our Philly sports people that want to give some support to a really good Philly sports podcast, go give our 302 Bird friends some love. They're good people. Right. Dalton and his crew do a great job. I've had the pleasure of being on their show multiple times. It's always a fun time. But all right, Tyler, we're moving to our top 5 now.
Top 5. Oh, man. This is where it gets interesting. My number 5, I have the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, did we finally hit a tie? Did we finally find common ground? I told you. Told you it's going to happen. Watch our top 5 be identical. That would suck. All right.
We're going to flip.
But, I mean, they've made so many good moves through the draft and through free agency. I mean, you got tried and true Harrison Smith. They went and they signed Isaiah Rodgers. You still have they've also brought in Javon Hargrave.
And
They have
Jonathan.
Jonathan Greenard, who had 12 sacks last year. Jonathan Allen, who will
Dallas Turner's
hopefully
going to get
fit
more
in.
playing time.
Yeah, hopefully fit in a little bit more with that defensive scheme. I mean, it's just hard to find a lot of weaknesses. I mean, Ivan Pace Jr., he's been a solid inside linebacker for them. Got
Don't
Blake
forget about,
next to him.
they also have Van Ginkel coming off a 11.5 sack season.
Yes, I forgot about Van Ginkel. Wow. And then they have year 2 of Dallas Turner, who could prove to be more of a problem. I mean, last year he had an interception, 3 sacks, 12 solo tackles. I mean, I've definitely seen worse rookie years from a first round pick.
Yeah. And, I mean, you were bringing up, I mean, they have Isaiah Rodgers. They're anchored in the secondary by Harrison Smith. They have Byron Murphy, who they just gave a very nice contract to. He's coming off a year where he had 6 interceptions.
14 pass deflections, too. Jeez.
They just gave Joshua Metellus a 3-year extension. He's coming off a year where he had 103 tackles and 2 interceptions. So the Vikings not only have a great defensive roster, they just have a good roster in general.
Yeah.
Don't forget, and also manning the middle, they have Blake Cashman, who's coming off a year where he had 111 tackles and 4.5 sacks. Like, they are literally the biggest issue last year was outside of Grenard and Van Ginkel, they created no interior pressure whatsoever with their defensive tackles. So what do they go out and do? They go and get 2 defensive tackles that prioritize pass rush in Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. Now, we're not going to talk about Javon Hargrave against the run, but that defensive line has the potential to get a heck of a lot of sacks.
I agree.
So that's both of our number 5 defenses.
So now, moving on to number 4, I have, drum roll, the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Oh, okay. We're safe. We're safe on this one. All right.
Lions are not in my top 10 either.
Really? And let me ask you, is this because of losing their defensive coordinator?
I think losing Aaron Glenn is big. I think I'm still a little weary on some of their players' health. I know they're all going to be healthy now, but
yes. So
it's out. Aiden Hutchinson didn't suffer just a freaking minor soft tissue injury last year.
That is true. It was a leg break.
And if Aiden Hutchinson isn't going at 100%, then I love. Here's the thing: I like some of their defensive players. I don't like their entire unit. Like, I love Brian Branch. Love him. Kerryon Arnold, I think, is going to be really good. I want to see him in year 2. And it's just the Aaron Glenn loss is so big for me.
It is. It is. So here's the thing with Aiden Hutchinson, right? Let's say he's never 100% because of the injury. Last year, through 5 games, he had 7.5 sacks. If they get 80% of Aiden Hutchinson, he's still going to be one of the great pass rushers in the league. Him at 100% will just put him at probably possible defensive player of the year. Which, before he got injured, he was probably headed on that track last year.
No disagreement.
But like you said, I mean, Kerryon Arnold, Brian Branch, it is worrisome. It is worrisome. You know, they lost their seasoned coordinator, but they still retained a lot of pieces. Now, granted, a lot of those guys were hurt. Some suffered some significant injuries. hopefully they do come back fully healthy. And if they do, I mean, it was a pretty scary Detroit Lions defense last year through the beginning parts of the season.
Yeah. All right. Coming in at my number 4 defense, drum roll please, I have the Baltimore Ravens.
Wow. That team is not in my top 10. I'm just kidding.
Really? Okay.
I had you going for a second.
Fair enough. The Ravens just kind of have a very good unit all across the board. Now, they run more of a 3-4, so they really don't have much play from their defensive linemen, except for, of course, Nnamdi Madubuike, who is coming off a very solid year, having 6 sacks. Well, 6.5 sacks. He leads that defensive line. Linebackers and edge rushers. I mean, just listen to this. They have Roquan Smith, who still mans the middle. They drafted Teddy Buchanan late in the draft out of Cal, who I think if you play him next to Roquan could have a really solid impact. They got Mike Green out of Marshall, who should have been a first-round pick, but some off-field issues made him drop. Mm-hmm. If he's a good Samaritan, he's going to be one of the better pass rushers in the league. They still have David Ojabo and Adafi Owe as edge rushers. Owe is coming off a career-high 10 sacks. Now, Ojabo is still trying to find his footing in the NFL, but I hope that he was so talented at Michigan, I hope he can find it. But even if not, they still got old man Kyle Van Noy, who's coming off with 12 and a half sacks last year.
Yeah.
Him and Andrew Van Ginkel are these two weird players. You don't really know what they do, but they just find a way to get to the quarterback.
They do it. You don't know what they do, but they do it.
And now, if you go to that freaking secondary, oh my God, is this secondary loaded?
Do they have a weakness?
You have Malachi Stark, Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, and Jair Alexander. And if, God forbid, something happens to one of those corners, you have Chidobe Awuzie as basically a backup. Where's their weakness on this Ravens defense, man?
I honestly can't find one. I mean, the Ravens have always put together some good defenses. I think this one might be the best top to bottom that I've seen in years out of the Ravens.
Because, Tyler, what did we say? Jair Alexander has one problem. He has to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. When he has been on the football field, he's a top 10 corner. If they get him to stay healthy and you pair that with Marlon Humphrey, who's coming off a 6 interception season, with Nate Wiggins, who's in his second year, and by the way, the potential to have one of the best young safety duos in football, oh my God, this team could potentially be the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
And that's why I have the Ravens at number 4.
So, loved everything you said. That's great. But that's why I put them at number 3.
Oh, hey!
Because, I mean, it's tough. It was tough picking through my 1 through 3. But I feel like the other 2 were just a little bit better to me. But the Ravens are right there. They have the potential to be the best defense in the league next year.
Okay. Okay, so you basically I just knocked out your number 3 for you.
Yep.
All right, going to my number 3, drum roll please. I have D'Amico Ryans and the Houston Texans.
You know, I tried to talk myself into putting the Texans in my top 10, but I couldn't do it.
Well, first of all, I want to get people to understand that the Texans defense was not the reason for their sluggish season last year. That offense and that offensive line were so stagnant. I thought I was watching the 2015 Chip Kelly-led Eagles.
I know.
Well, let me explain to myself why I have them here. There are two main important things in the NFL when it comes to building a defense now. Getting after the quarterback.
Yep.
And taking away the football. So, of course, they have Will Anderson, who is coming off his 11th sack season in his second year, former Defensive Rookie of the Year. They gave Danielle Hunter a nice little one-year extension. He's coming off a year where he had 12 sacks in his first year in Houston. So they get after the quarterback pretty damn well. Off-ball linebackers, Azeez Al-Shaair having a very good year before he decided to be a bonehead and get suspended. Henry To'oTo'o had a very strong year, 104 tackles. And they also have Christian Harris, who only played in 3 games last year. So if he's healthy, that's 3 middle linebackers. And they also signed E.J. Speed, who had 142 tackles with the Colts last year. Mike, we're working on that. That's an old Tyler shirt is from the old 609 merch. We're working on
OG shirt, but we're gonna be working on getting some new merch out. For anyone who's interested in it.
We're working on that, Mike. We'll be having that stuff ready for you hopefully soon. And now, if you go look into their secondary, I think this has the potential to be one of the better secondaries in football. You have Kalen Bullock, who as a rookie last year had 5 interceptions. You have Kamari Lassiter, also as a rookie last year, 3 interceptions. You have Jalen Petrie, one of the best nickel defenders in the NFL. You have Derek Stingley, who was easily, in my opinion, could be one of the top 5 corners in the league, coming off 5 interceptions in back-to-back years. So that's a lot of interceptions. Oh, not to mention, you traded for C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who's coming off a year where he had 6 interceptions.
Yeah, and Super Bowl.
And a Super Bowl championship. They have the potential to be one of the better defenses in football because they get after the quarterback and they take the football away. And that's my number 3. I have a feeling our top 2 are the same 2 teams. I just don't know if they're in the same order.
I don't know either. And I'll tell you, I went back and forth. I've changed it at least 4 times. But what I finally settled on for my number 2 was our favorite, Denver Broncos.
Our top 2 are the same.
There we go. And let me put this out here. It's not a homer pick. People might be able to guess by now what our number 1s are. This isn't a homer pick by any stretch of the imagination.
Go watch last year.
The Broncos, they have. I mean, where are they going to get you at? The best corner in football, or the pass rush that had, I don't know how many combined sacks last year. They're getting a healthy Dre Greenlaw. They got they brought over Hufanga from the 49ers, right?
Yep.
So they got him. Brandon Jones next to him. Riley Moss. Oh, and they drafted Jahdae Barron too as their nickel. No big deal.
Yep. Nick Pitino and Jonathan Cooper are both coming off of double-digit sack seasons.
Mm-hmm. You got Jonah Ellis just sitting there as a reserve player. What, 5
Zach Allen. Zach Allen's become one of the top interior defensive linemen in the NFL. And they also have John Franklin Myers on that defensive line and DJ Jones who could stop the run.
Yeah. Oh, and they drafted Savion Jones from LSU this year in the 3rd round.
Yep. And like you said, they have Surtain, they have Barron, they have Moss. They brought over Hufanga. They have Brandon Jones, who had a really solid year for them last year. P.J. Locke will play more of a reserve role this year. He was a starter last year for them.
Yeah, which bringing in Hufanga was huge for their secondary.
So Mikey said he has the Broncos at 1, and then he asked about the Jags. Mike, the Jags have a lot of dreaming to do.
Yeah. The Jags seem to, make steps in the right direction, and then they just, go in reverse.
And Mike, to answer the question about the merch, if it's not by then, it'll be sometime early, hopefully early next year.
We'll see what we can do for you, though.
Yes, we will. You'll be one of the first people that I'll let you know. And now, Tyler, I think it's safe to say that at number 1 for our top 10 defense of 2025, we have.
What a great way to bring us into some Eagles talk to end the show. This was not planned at all.
So, Carol, it's time for your Eagles talk.
So, I mean, from the early days of training camp and what they've done in the draft, what they've done last year, and having Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator, there's no better defense in football heading into this year than the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, they lost a few people, but I think they've done a damn good job of replacing them with more than capable guys who have played in the system and who have earned their spot, like Maro Ojamo. I think he's going to have a big impact this year. Jordan Davis heading into training camp looking like a edge rusher. Like, oh man, having him and Carter next to each other, watching Jordan Davis move around in the middle there, that's going to be fun to watch. Nolan Smith, he's only getting better every single year. God, of course, the Jalix Hunt. I was getting there. But yeah, Jalix Hunt saying, why don't you ring off the linebacking trio from hell that you love?
Well, first off, just before we get to that, I do want to bring something up real quick. Just real quickly before I get to that. Yes, I have. I'm working here. Okay, give me one quick second, and then I'll have us all set up. I just gotta bring this up real quick.
I think I know what you're
doing. Look at this guy. Who is that?
If you told me that that's a defensive tackle for an NFL football team, I'd probably laugh at you.
And he said he still weighs 336.
Yeah.
The man is nothing but solid muscle.
He's put on a lot of muscle.
But first of all, Mike, so far training camp's been going good. Offense, they said, looks pretty good. They're relatively healthy. I know Andrew Makuba missed practice today with a shoulder injury.
Okay.
So, but again, it's only July, and I'm not going to really worry about that.
Exactly.
Carol says he's coming to the Philly area for the month of August. Oh, boy.
Ooh, nice. Might have to see if you can catch a preseason game. I don't even know when they start preseason games. When do they start preseason games? No idea.
Some point in August.
Some point in August. We're almost there.
But first off, so back to what you were saying to me. If you thought that Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond were fun to watch, you haven't seen anything until you've seen Zach Bond and Jahad Campbell on a football field together. Jahad Campbell, which the biggest point out for him is he did not start this training camp on the PUP list or the NFI list. He's full go at practice. He looks healthy, looks good out there. He's having a strong start to camp. I mean, Ojamo's looking good, and that's the thing. I think they've drafted guys that are just going to come right in and make impacts immediately. I think Makuba's going to get that opportunity, even though I still think, from what I've been reading, there's still a shot that Justin Simmons could be a reality.
If they don't bring Justin Simmons in, it will be Makuba, 100%. But
Sidney's getting a lot of the reps early, they said. So,
is he really?
Yeah. Look, I want Sidney Brown to be good. I don't know why Dennis thinks that we hate Sidney Brown. I don't hate Sidney Brown. I don't trust Sidney Brown.
I trust whoever Fangio trusts. All right. So if he does throw out Sidney Brown next to Reed Blankenship to start next year, all right, cool.
Yeah. Just don't be Tristan. Just please don't be Tristan McCollum. And that's all I ask.
No, please, no Tristan McCollum. Please, no. If we could sign Justin Simmons just to push Tristan McCollum off of the depth chart, I'm cool with that. Please.
So here, let me help our people out here.
While you look that up, I'll keep clamoring over here about our defense. Going into year 2 for Quinyon Mitchell, the future best cornerback in football.
Which, by the way, did you hear what Vic said about Quinyon this year?
What'd he say?
Unlike the NBA, Quinyon will be traveling.
That's great. I love that.
He will shadow the team's number 1 wide receiver.
That is a true sign of a number 1 corner. To shadow number 1 wide receivers. I can't wait to see your favorite wide receiver get locked down on every given week. Man, I'm going to have to take some extra preparations for fantasy football then. Jeez.
God, I haven't even thought about fantasy football yet this year.
Oh, CeeDee Lamb's playing the Eagles this week? Nope. Benching him.
What happened?
Reed Blankenship, all he does is get better. He's always there in the big moments. He's the closer, shuts games down. Not worried about whatever safety's going to start next to him, whether it's Makuba, Sidney, or they sign Simmons. Anybody. Let's run it. And we got to wait to see how training camp pans out a little bit more. I don't know if Keely Ringo's going to get the start next to Quinyon over Adoree Jackson.
So what I've been hearing was since day 1, it has been Adoree Jackson.
Okay.
Which now, to be fair, most of day 1, Keely Ringo was having problems against A.J. Brown, which, breaking news, who doesn't have problems against A.J. freaking Brown?
Exactly.
But from what I've read, Adoree has looked better than Keely, so...
Okay, the veteran. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He's established himself more in the league.
I also have been seeing there is a lot more movement around the defense this year with Cooper DeJean.
I've heard that. I've heard they are giving him some looks at safety.
Max McWilliams has been getting some. The kid they took out of UCF has been getting some snaps in the nickel, and they said he's looked pretty damn good too.
Interesting. But I don't know, man. Just watching Cooper DeJean following around the slot all across the field, especially when he locked down on Jamar Chase. Oh, that was amazing.
And that's the thing. Oh, and not to mention we haven't gotten to the force that is Jalen Carter.
Exactly.
Who, by the way, has returned to practice. He did miss the first few practices. He missed the last spring practice with a little bit of a shoulder thing, but he did return to practice today. And first padded practice will be tomorrow. So, something to look forward to for our Eagles fans.
Oh, yeah.
But if you just look at this Eagles defense and how good it was last year, the reason they're still number 1, all the main building blocks are still here. People are like, oh, well, they lost Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat's a role player. Oh, they lost Milton Williams. Milton Williams wasn't a full-time starter. All the key components are still here. You still have Jalen Carter. You still have Zach Vaughn.
You know
By the way,
about
not only do you have
bringing in Azeez Ojulari as a rotational piece, forgot about him.
Hey, we have him, and Joshua Uche, another one.
Yeah.
Like, they literally have brought in... Now, look, do they have the superstar edge rusher? I don't know. Maybe Nolan Smith is that. I don't know. I'm not saying he can't be. Oh, boy. Mid-conversation. And the sports world has just lost another one.
Oh, no.
Oh, all right. Former Phillies manager and Cubs Hall of Fame second baseman Ryan Sandberg has passed away. He had been battling cancer, and it was just reported out that he has just passed away. It is now a sad day, has gotten even more upsetting.
Rest in peace.
This has not been a very good couple of weeks.
Yeah.
This has not been a good couple of weeks. All right, let me try to get myself back into that. That's just news that I did not expect to see. Let me try to bounce back here. And Dustin, of course, will have all the info with this. He said he was in remission for a while, but it came back and didn't go well. Well, oh, man. Even more sad. Oh, gosh. But all right, let me try to let me try to get myself back on track here. So back when you're looking at this Eagles defense, they've lost some players, yes, but you look at this. The core building blocks are still here. Jalen Carter is still here. Nolan Smith is still here. Zach Vaughn is still here. They added what I think is another core piece in Jahad Campbell. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are still here. Like, all their guys are going to be here that are the core of this defense. All the guys that helped them win that Super Bowl last year are still here. And I'm not saying Milton Williams and Josh Sweat didn't help them, but they knew going into this offseason that it was going to be a tough time retaining players. And I think they got 3 guys in the draft to immediately make them just as competitive. I think Jahad Campbell's going to be a day one contributor. You're already seeing it in camp. I think Makuba, even if he doesn't start right away, at some point he's going to contribute. And I don't think we're talking about enough of how good Ty Robinson's going to be.
Yes, he's another guy. He's going to get a lot of chances early on in the rotation. They are very impressed with him. From what I've seen on tape, so am I.
Mikey, we can agree.
Yes, it does.
But I mean, like, I'm expecting big things out of this defense again, and it's strictly, again, not only because here's the thing, not only did it get better, it somehow, in my opinion, got younger. Somehow it got younger and better.
It did because, some older guys retire, Brandon Graham. Now the torch gets passed off. Now you got young Maro Jomo coming up. Young Jalix Hunt. Young Nolan Smith. Just drafted Ty Robinson. Jahad Campbell. Nakobe Dean's still young.
Don't sleep on Kamal Madden, the linebacker they took from Georgia, too.
Yeah. I mean, was Zach Vaughn one of our oldest players at 28?
Pretty sure he's the elder statesman.
I think so. Yeah, he is. As far as starters go, that is.
Yeah, and like we said, Andrew Makuba and Sidney Brown still got to duke it out for that safety spot, but Reed Blankenship's still a playmaker back there. I still think this team, and I think the biggest reason, in my opinion, why I still think this team is the best defense in football, not only does it have all that young talent, but it has Vic Fangio, and Vic Fangio's staff is still here together. He didn't lose Clint Hurt. He didn't lose Christian Parker. He didn't lose any of his coaches. The Eagles' entire defensive coaching staff came back together this year, and they didn't lose anybody. So I think that's another big reason, because you have all these guys that were here last year to come back into the system, stay in the system, and still have basically everybody that were here with them last year still around. I think that's a big thing for a young team like this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think Jalen Carter, I cannot wait for this year for Jalen Carter.
I know. And Jordan Davis, too. We all know Jordan Davis, the run stopper, but, he might be able to contribute to even more downs this year.
Unpopular opinion, I think that we may have made a mistake not extending him, because his price tag may go up.
Oh, man. You know what he said? He was like, you know what? It's time to get paid. Turning all this extra meat into muscle.
Exactly. So that is our top 10 defenses for 2025, everybody. We're hitting the 2-hour mark. What a show. What a terrific show to start the week off.
Hour of wrestling, hour on top 10.
What was that I said about only being an hour show tonight?
Yeah, that was generous of you.
Well, yeah. What a great way to start the show, to start the week off, and unfortunately having to break some sad news about the passing of MLB Hall of Famer Ryan Sandberg.
Yes.
Like that, he lost his fantasy because of the Eagles.
Got a new commenter in the chat. Cynthia, thank you for joining us.
New commenter, old fan. Let's be real. She's only putting the smiley faces because it's almost football season.
Yes, that is true.
And we corrupted her 2 years ago, and we turned her into one of us, to a monster like us.
Die-hard Eagles fan. Always trying to drag me to those winter games. You know, when it's like 20 degrees outside.
Got some breaking news for the Colts. The Colts have agreed to terms with offensive tackle Bernard Raymond on a 4-year, $100 million extension with $60 million guaranteed.
Okay.
We got all this money being thrown around.
Everyone's getting paid. Mike wants us to do wide receivers next week.
I'm down.
I wanted to start with the wide receivers, Mike, but Sam told me that I can't swing for the fences right away.
Whoa. I texted you one time about this list this week, and you said defense. You never one time mentioned wide receiver. Don't blame this on me.
I might have mentioned it post-show last week. But it's all right, though. I think we could do wide receivers. Give everyone some time to prep their list. We're going to do wide receiver duos.
I'm down for wide receiver duos next week.
Also, what's up, Alex?
What's up, Alex? I don't know what my chat's doing right now. It's being wonky on me. What's up, Alex? And, of course, Cynthia's just doubled down that she's ready for football season.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, guys, I think that's going to wrap up tonight's episode. Excellent show. Glad to have Orlando on with us for an hour talking some wrestling. That was a fun time. Mike goes money. So I think Mike's happy. He's going to get his wide receivers next week. So, guys, thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you, everybody who was commenting tonight. We had everybody in here tonight. Zolt, Clint, Anthony, Cynthia, Alex, Haley, Brian, Mike, Carol. My goodness. Many comments. Anthony, so many commenters tonight. Carol said, have a great week, everyone. See you next week, Philly. All right, Carol, we will see you next week.
Have a good week,
and to everybody else, have a safe rest of your week. Thanks once again to Orlando for coming on with us for an hour talking some wrestling. And next week, top 10 wide receiver duos for the 2025 NFL season. Yes, Anthony, before we go, we did see the breaking news about Ryan Sandberg. Unfortunately, it's a sad day in baseball. But definitely wanted to let us know that we saw that. So everyone, you know what? Just for a little bit more for this week, hug your loved ones. Tell them you love them. Always show them that you love them. This life that we have learned over the past week is way too damn short. And we are not here for a long time, but we are supposed to be here for a good time. So hug your loved ones. Tell them you love them. And remember, family is always the most important thing. So, guys, thank you all for joining us this week. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode, and we will see you guys next Monday. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.